everyone, X-Force here, and welcome to day 4 of JoJo Mess, where today we're going to be talking about Josuke Higashikata. So when it comes to Josuke, he is very similar to his parent being Joseph, and that's how it is with all of the, direct daughter and direct son characters in the series. They definitely share a lot of characteristics with their direct parent, and Josuke and Joseph. So I like to think of Josuke as sort of like a mixture of Jotaro and Joseph, because when Josuke is put in situations where he can't fully utilize his stand, that's when it forces him to think about his situation and do things that remind me of Joseph. But when he's in other situations, when he's in range to use his stand effectively, he's more like Jotaro, where he'll just punch something really hard to solve his problems. And it makes sense. Like, if Joseph had a stand like Star Platinum, he wouldn't need to think about the situations, but obviously Joseph had a stand that wasn't very good for combat, like Hermit Purple, and also only Hamon in part 2. He really had to think about every single encounter, no matter what the range was. And when it comes to Josuke, he doesn't need to do that, like I said, unless he's out of range. So that's why I like Josuke, even though he is very similar, very flamboyant, very animated like his father. He still shares those characteristics of Jotaro, like, I'm just going to beat the shit out of you, and he does have those Star Platinum punching moments with his stand. So now for my least favorite and favorite moment from Josuke Higashikata. Out of all the badass combat scenes and all of the beatdowns Josuke has given throughout Diamond is Unbreakable, I have to say that my favorite moment for him is a little bit more of an emotional moment, and it is after the Red Hot Chili Peppers arc when he meets his father, Joseph, for the first time when Joseph was coming to Morio, and he meets him at the dock. Right after his fight, he was still like bloody from Red Hot Chili Pepper, and Joseph was walking off, and he sees him. And then when Joseph is walking down, of course, he drops his cane, and who's there to catch him other than Josuke? And he, like, grabs him, gives him, like, a hug, and he's like, hey, watch your step or else you're going to fall into the ocean. And Joseph was like, oh, thanks. And then, of course, Joseph, because he's so old, and his body doesn't work anymore, he wasn't able to walk anymore, so Joseph, he was able to walk, but he needed to use his cane. So Joseph was forced to hold his hand reluctantly, and, like, they were walking away, but, like, Joseph was blushing and everything, and Josuke was blushing. So that was just a really cool moment. Although, like, obviously, I could talk about his fight with Kira that's happening right now for, like, hours. But I think definitely that would be my favorite moment with Joseph when he first met him. Because I think I would be a little bit biased to say the fight with Kira right now because it's happening right now. And it's just really badass seeing it animated. But I'm definitely going to stay true to my favorite moment with Josuke. And that's his first time meeting Joseph. So now for my least moment of Josuke. Alright. Least moment. Well, good that I stopped. So now for my least favorite moment of Josuke Higashikata, and it's just him being a kid. So, the whole point of part 4 is them hunting down Yoshikage Kira, the serial killer that's embedded in their town, that's literally murdering people, and they need to find out who this person is and stop them. So, right when they're hot on the trail, like right after he switches faces with Kosaku, and it's when we get to the Mikitaka arc. It's like one of my favorite episodes, and it's a great scene, but at least for Josuke, he's a pretty shitty character in the moment. So Josuke and Okuyasu walk into school, and they find Mikitaka, an alien. He is an alien. They find an alien who's able to shapeshift into any object and do pretty much anything within a reasonable bound of limitations. So the first thing that Josuke decides to do, well, after a couple things, like one of the first major things he decides to do with Mikitaka is go to Rohan's house and scam him out of money by turning Mikitaka into Dai and win at a board game. And it's like, Josuke, how shitty of a person can you be? Like, the opening at the time was, no, the opening switched to Great Taste, but before that, the opening was like chase, and the whole theme was like, I'm going to chase you till the end of the earth, Yoshikage Kira, and I'm going to find you. So it's like, I'll chase you, but I'll do that after I scam Rohan out of money, and after I fucking just do all this shit with Mikitaka. So I don't know, obviously, just to kind of like drag on part 5, those little mini arcs had to happen, but it's like Josuke totally forgot about the situation he was in and Kira, and he just wanted to make some summer money for the time being, I guess. So, and also, when he accidentally, it wasn't really, everyone says like, oh, Josuke burned down Rohan's house, but it really wasn't Josuke's fault. Although Josuke never showed up and never did that, Rohan's house would have never burned down. But because Rohan brought out the magnifying glass and it caught a reflection on the sunlight, it did start his house on fire. So yeah, Josuke is a piece of shit for setting Rohan's house on fire unintentionally. But really, other than that, I didn't have any problems with Josuke at all. I thought he was a great character, sort of like I mentioned, a mix between Jotaro and Joseph. It's definitely Joseph, very similar character, just obviously younger. So that was my least favorite and favorite moment from Josuke Higashikata. And I know a lot of you guys are loving Josuke right now because of Part 4 being animated. And yeah, Josuke is really a great character and a great JoJo. So that was JoJomas Day 4, halfway through here. So be sure to come back tomorrow where we're going to be talking about Part 5 and Giorno Giovanna. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed.